Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Film Independent Presents Short Film Script Readings in collaboration with the Undocumented Filmmakers Collective. I'm Tania Dominguez Rangel. I'm the Artist Development Co-Lead for the Undocumented Filmmakers Collective.
And I'm Kate Mason, Programming and Events Associate at Film Independent.
For tonight's showcase, we will feature work from 3 members of the Undocumented Filmmakers Collective who participated in this year's UFC Elevate Screenwriters Incubator. And the incubator supported 13 UFC members to ideate and develop screenplay projects under the guidance of an instructor, providing an opportunity to gain feedback for their work and build relationships with members of the UFC community as well as industry professionals. After the incubator, 3 fellows were chosen to develop their scripts into the table reads you will see tonight. This incredible partnership between Film Independent and UFC is just one example of how we are fulfilling UFC's promise to center the expertise of our undocumented community, not just as sources of stories, but as artists, creators, and primary audiences.
After the readings, we'll have an opportunity to meet and talk to the incredibly talented writer-directors who developed these scripts. You'll be able to hear about their writing process, their time in the incubator, and how they're going to tackle the next steps of bringing these stories to life. So we're asking you, people in our audience, to submit questions. So we just ask that you hold those until after the videos are done playing, and then please start putting them in the Q&A section. Before we start the show, we'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors, the California Council of the Arts and the HFPA. Without your generous support, this programming would not be possible, so thank you very much. And of course, a big thank you to UFC for doing this with Film Independent. We're so happy to have you. So enjoy, we'll see you all in a little bit. Okay, that was wonderful. Thank you, everybody. While we're getting our filmmakers back on camera, could we hear a little bit more from you, Tanya, about the Undocumented Filmmakers Collective?
Yes, thank you, Kate. So UFC's mission is to empower and create avenues for immigrant filmmakers so they can make films, TV series, music, any kind of media or art. We offer workshops, master classes. We did our Elevate Incubator, which Hania, Rahana, and Vin were all part of. And this just allows artists to further develop their craft. And we also do outreach and partnerships with established organizations like Film Independent, with various other networks and production pipelines and film festivals, so that they can get to know us and our immigrant community. And if you want to know more about us and our work, you can follow us on Instagram at UndocUFC, UndocUFC, or go to undocufilmmakers.org.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, such a wonderful organization, and I really encourage everybody watching to learn more about y'all. Follow them online, all that good stuff. Okay, so yeah, if you're watching and you have a question for our filmmakers, writers, directors, please go ahead and put that in the Q&A. And for right now, I'd love it if each of you would just go ahead and introduce yourself and let us know which film was yours in case we forgot. Hania, do you want to start?
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name's Hania. I am the writer of Punks. I was born in Mexico. Then I moved to Houston. I grew up there all of my life. I'm currently in Austin, but will always have a very soft spot for Houston. And yeah, I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here today. I really appreciate your presence here. My name is Rahana. I use she, her pronouns. I am the actor, writer, director, and producer of what you saw today, called Girls Camp. Quick background of who I am. I was born in Libya. I had my early childhood in Japan, and I grew up in the San Bernardino area and kind of live in between the Inland Empire and Orange County, and I'm currently calling from Orange County. So yeah, thank you for being here today.
Hi, my name is Vinod Krishnan. I'm the writer-director of Secret Spaces, and thank you for being here and thank you for having me. I am born and raised in Malaysia and currently in Midwest Nebraska.
Awesome. Thank you all so much. Why don't we keep it going with Vin to start? I have a question from Shaston who says, what inspired each of y'all to write your stories? Which is a great place to begin.
The genesis of this short came from a road trip that I took with my friend from Midwest to all the way to California. But the story really started when I was roaming around and taking picture. I saw a mineral, a size of shoe, like 9 or 10. I wanted it, but then I saw an elderly lady standing across a boulder. So we stared at each other, and she know that she saw the rock and I saw the rock. So what she did, she straight went to the rock, picked it up, looked at me, and placed the rock in her bag, and then just walked off. I was at that moment was so disappointed at myself that I didn't do anything about it. So at that night, something clicked at me that I wanted to write a feature about this event. That me taking the rock first and have her chase me. However, however, my protagonist is an undocumented, I didn't want it to run on fear-based narrative. So I introduced humor and satire in the story. Because at the end of the day, even though the story is about me, I have to tell a story that creates empathy within my audience. About the rock or the mineral, I realized at one point everyone collects an object because there's certain emotional resonance that have been established along their life. To me, the rock represents trauma. Whatever trauma I have collected in the past, I am started to make choices because of that. That trauma now either rules me or guides me. Therefore, with this script, which is going to be a feature, I'm exploring themes such as trust, love, guilt, shame, belonging, and identity between secret spaces which we all trying to find an answer today. In reality, I let go of the rock as the trauma, but in the script, my protagonist didn't. He took the rock and ran away with it. So the consequences are rising. So for my audience is what I'm trying to tell my audience, whether you wanted to take the trauma and use it as an advantage, or are you going to take the trauma and then release it, let go, or are you going to keep it and then be angry your entire life?
Tahania or Rahana, could you tell us about the genesis or inspiration for your stories?
So growing up, I've always had a very deep love for alternative music. So I was really emo, like especially in middle school, and I just loved punk, hardcore, and yeah, but like where I grew up, there wasn't like a lot of people who were into that. And I would even get comments like, oh, like you're not real Mexican, like Mexicans don't like that stuff. And I just kind of, repressed that. But in college, I started going to local shows in Houston, punk shows and hardcore shows. And I just saw that there was a lot of kids who, had similar backgrounds to me and were very proud, of their interests, of their love for this music. And it felt so nice that, like later on, it took me a while to find, like people that had similar interests as me and similar backgrounds, but it just felt so nice to realize that, we're not alone. And oftentimes I realized that the alternative scene has been portrayed as very white in media. So I was like, hey, I want to create change in any way I can. So why not make a story about, kids who I can relate to, and I know many others can too. So yeah, that is what inspired me, and just my love for the music too.
I always love hearing like filmmakers and why they wrote their stories. And I think a lot of the influence on my short film is my experience, like growing up in the Mormon church. I was baptized when I was 7 and I considered myself Mormon until I was like 17. And that was really when like politically, I think it was like when Trump got elected, and like the culture of the church really shifted. And as I like heal spiritually, of those really difficult 10 years, I had a lot of reflections of how my like consciousness of like racism and class and sexism was really in like the Mormon church. And I think there's a lot of people have different opinions and thoughts and assumptions of the Mormon church. And I think now I'm at a point where it's there is a lot of trauma and kind of sadness of my experience in it, but I think this film is kind of like a love letter to my younger self that like I didn't know any better. And I think now like I'm in a much secure place spiritually, and I learned a lot in the Mormon church, and I think in a way everything happens for a reason. And if it weren't for those experiences, I wouldn't be who I am today. But I also acknowledge that like I have to give reason to that, and kind of like a sense of free will and responsibility to create meaning, because I think it gives me a lot of closure. And also kind of bringing in my ancestors into the film. And I think I would say it's kind of like a visualization of what felt like it happened to me when I was 17 years old, where my ancestors pulled me out of the church, and I felt very lonely and like isolated. And but then there's like this sense of like warmth and acceptance from them. And I personally wanted to play like all the ancestors and like myself, the character that's based on my experience, because I don't know, I feel like I needed to do that to be fulfilled as an actor and as a filmmaker, and I'm just really happy with how it turned out.
Awesome. Our next question is from an anonymous attendee who would like to know 3 key learnings, although I would say you could just do 1 or 2 if you want, but something that you learned from these table reads, because, you know, obviously it's a big difference taking it from paper to hearing it out loud, and these were obviously like very beautifully produced. So please, whoever wants to start, just tell us a little something about what you learned from putting these reads together.
I think for me, this helped a lot. And sometimes, like, anytime I've seen my work, I kind of cringe a little. I just like close my eyes. And I think during this whole time, I was like, it was like a scary movie. Like, I was just like, you know, I was so scared, but I was like, no, this is, you know, a learning opportunity. And honestly, in the future, I think I would like to do this again just for myself, because I feel like dialogue is like really hard to write, because in your head it just sounds a way, but then someone says it out loud and you're like, oh no, you know, it doesn't transfer well. So I think like that's just like very specific, but I think dialogue helped me a lot doing this table read. And you said 1, right? Or 2, or okay. I mean, I think that's the one that helped me the most. And also, I think it just helped me visualize more how I want to see this film made in the future.
Just like Hania said, listening to the dialogues really helped me put into a perspective that I need to cut more dialogues out of it, make it, trim it. And it also teaches me that I need to go look into other screenplays and read it, how they write dialogues, and see how it works. And to me, what really made sense to me is which scenes that needs to be in there that progress the entire storytelling, that it matters to the whole story, that matters to the character, and that relates to my audience. That what really taught me about this table reading. So listening to this, just like Hania said it, that I might have to do this for feature, just a table read, record it, and then go back home and watch it, and then just from there on take on, and then rewrite the entire draft again.
Learned a lot working on this project. It was my first time directing, and I worked with an actress, Evita Garcia, who is a young actress as well, and it was her first time acting. So I'm just so lucky that she got to like be my first actress on my first directing project. And I think a lot of my like filmmaking experience is acting, so like it's been very interesting to kind of be on the opposite end, but also like playing 4 different characters is like crazy. So I definitely put a lot on myself, but I'm very proud, and I do want to eventually make it into a feature film and play all those 4 characters again. So it's just nice to kind of create this like concept and share it with other people of like what I envision. And I ultimately want to take like everybody out to Big Bear into the mountains and like have a whole like camping experience. Like I want it to be like I want everyone to have like matching camp t-shirts, and I want to make friendship bracelets for everyone and make it a whole like really fun experience. Because that's something I got to experience as all throughout middle school and my early high school years. So, and I know some people haven't had that experience. So I think that would be such a wonderful opportunity to share with other people.
All right. Some of you got into this a little bit, but what do you plan on doing next? Are there things you're changing based on the reads? Are you full steam ahead on developing these further? What's next for each of the projects?
I think I'm currently into rewriting the draft and then changing the tone of it a little. And then with that, I wanted to approach emerging producers and pitch it to them and see if I can land one to the project and then get their notes, get their experience, and see where we can take this project and go to Film Lab or Film Market or anywhere else.
For Punks, we're currently in pre-production to make the short film. So I would like to make it into a feature. Thank you. I would like to make it into a feature someday, but for now, I am sticking to the short film format. Would love to use it as a sample because I actually I just had so many scenes that I thought about for Punks, but I was like, let me hone in to what would potentially be one scene from the whole movie and, let it be something that I can handle with my current resources. But yeah, right now we're in pre-production. We're trying to figure out how are we going to fund it, casting and so on. And eventually, we're going to submit it to festivals, and I would love to at some point have a community screening here. But yeah.
Oh, those plans sound so amazing. Like I'm so excited to see how it flourishes in the upcoming months. Like I said earlier, I would love to make it into a feature film. I do have plans to film it as a short film. Like you saw it today, how it was like filmed inside like a room, and I eventually want to like be out in the wilderness and then film it mostly like at nighttime. So that's kind of the vision, and submit it to film festivals. But I'm just very excited that we even got to be part of the showcase and just share the script to everyone, because I think just with the current climate of the country and there's just chaos in every corner. I want to like acknowledge how proud I am of Vin and Hanya of just like birthing this this story in such a really challenging time. I like to think that artists are like kind of like doulas, or even like, you know, like the birthers of like a better world. And we get to do that as storytellers and as artists, and hopefully it resonates with others, and or even like inspire them to create their own creative work that can help other people. So yeah, kind of like this like web of, or like a ripple effect that I hope that all of our projects could encourage, you know, just kindness in the world. We need a little bit more of that.
Absolutely. I love the doula visual as for a filmmaker or a writer. I agree. I think, and someone asked about creative process when it comes to script writing, things that get you in the creative headspace, how you approach that. So yeah, kind of, Rahana, what you were talking about, like, how do each of you tackle the writing process, which can be just truly amazing or awful for lots of people?
Yeah, I feel like the technical things I'm not very good at, so I don't know if I could offer any advice to the audience, but I think spending time with my friends has been very important, because what I learned writing this was how girlhood and womanhood is so sacred. And I am who I am because of my sisters and my friends. And like I don't know if you noticed, like even like the little Taylor Swift joke inside the or in the script, and I wanted to kind of make it culturally relevant and just like a fun film overall, because there are themes that are, you know, pretty kind of, you know, traumatic, and it reveals a lot of like the vulnerabilities of like my childhood. But ultimately I want to like show how like girlhood is very messy, and like the chaos of it is when you'll like flourish as, you know, like a flower or something that where you'll like bloom into to your fullest potential. So like, yeah, spending time with my friends is really what got me through completing this, and my amazing crew who I've worked with of a few times before, folks that I've met at UC Irvine and our filmmaking programs. So I'm very lucky to continue working with them.
For my creative process, I don't know if this is good, like insight or not, but I actually have been writing this script since 2021, and I would just get really frustrated. I was like, whoa, why can't I finish this? Like, I'm just so stressed out. Like, I just wish it was done next month. And I had a close friend that would just tell me, you know, why are you in such a rush? Like, why are you trying to finish this like in 2 weeks? And I think that really helped me just kind of, I know sometimes it's hard to keep writing whenever we have a job, other responsibilities, want to keep up with the people in our life. But I think my creative process was just taking it slow, you know, every month doing a little bit, and also studying as much as I could, even though, you know, I love going to music shows. I tried to watch, you know, documentaries or talk to people about just their experience. But yeah, I think, you know, if you have a project that, you know, you've been working on for a long time, I think, you know, don't give up on it. I think it's just a slow process, but it definitely feels very rewarding once you're done. But yeah, and I'm also very proud of Rahana and Vin and everyone at UFC. Just wanted to say that.
Whenever I'm in the writer's block, I tend to listen to podcasts. That I go after is Script Notes, Craig Mazin and John August, and then another one with Amy LaFour at the Screenwriting Live, I believe. I usually try to listen to them more because they do have solution how to get rid of writer's block. If you stuck at writer's block, just go watch, just like Hanya said, go watch documentary, go watch movie, talk to your close friend. If you still can't pass through just take a trip, do something, relax, go eat your favorite ice cream, go splurge, take a day off, spend some money on yourself, and then come back to it. Take a week off, come back to it. Uh, that's what I've been doing, and it helps me a lot to get back into the writing mode, and then just establish a a a solution. If I can't find it, then I have to figure out something slowly. If it doesn't work, do something else, and then come back to it. If you can't finish up that screenplay, go write something else. Go ideate something else, and then come back to it.
Awesome. I think we have time for maybe one or two more, so I'm gonna have to be choosy. I really like this question. Scott McKinney asked, what did you learn from or like about the screenplays that were not yours? So in working together or watching each other's, spread the love around the Zoom room a little bit.
Okay, I will start. I think for Rahana's script, I really admire how you were able to tap into different versions of yourself, because I feel like we're all very multifaceted individuals. And I just really admire how you were able to do that. And I don't know, your script just made me feel like, I don't know, like I just reminded me, I mean, I was not Mormon, or went to a summer camp, but I somehow felt like I was there. So I also really love like how you used humor to make kind of light in certain situations, and just, tapping into the message of connecting with your roots. And for Vin, I love road movies. I don't know if this is the route you're taking, but I feel like my brain is just always stuck in one place. So I really admire how adventurous your film is. Even right now with what we've read, I just really admire how like we're interested in what's going to happen next with these characters. And I love the mystery in it, and I don't know, it just feels like so adventurous, and I'm really excited. And okay, yeah.
Good chime in. Oh my gosh. No, thank you, Hania, for all the words and the love. I really appreciate it. I'll start off with yours. I don't know anything about punk culture, so like I felt like it was a privilege to kind of take a peek of that space, because I realized that it's like a safe space for a lot of people, and I know a lot of people who explore their identities, and even like their chosen family is founded in those spaces. So and like visually it's so beautiful. So I'm so excited for your production that's coming up. So folks, like, please audition for project, and yeah, and just have more like, maybe I just haven't seen a lot of punk movies. So you're gonna be the first to create this and bring this to life. So I'm just really excited to see it. I'm proud of you. And for Vin, I love road trip movies. And I remember the first time like we like read it during the incubator. I remember I was so drawn into the dynamics of the three main characters. And I'm really happy to see like the themes that were explored a lot more, like now that it's been a while since you first wrote it. And I don't know, I think just even the themes of like borders, because I first didn't see it as a film that would even like cover that, but there were so many beautiful like visual components that hopefully you could fit like sea monarchs when when you're filming. So and yeah, I'm just so excited to see this project as well. So, and congrats to you as well.
Thank you, Hania. Thank you, Rihanna. I am so happy to hear the kind words. I just want to say I've been to a couple of punks concert. They are the nicest people until the music drops. The whole stage is a mess, so you don't want to be around. I'm kind of excited for your coming of age movies because to me it's like take Lady Bird but then put a punk. I'm excited for it. And Rihanna, I'm excited for your camp movie because it brings me a lot of nostalgic moments because I used to when I was a kid I tend to dream about going to camp, but I think my dad only took once for camping and he left us for 3 hours, me and my sibling, and then he was just gone. And then he came back 3 hours later and then asked me, "How was it? Was it fun?" We told him that it wasn't fun. We wanted to go home. So it's been a nightmare. Ever since then, I don't want to go camp. But then as an adult, the whole perspective have changed now. So I'm excited to see your movie and in the big screen. And thank you both.
Yes, thanks to all of you and congratulations on your work. It's really, I mean, writing is so difficult and I'm so impressed by each of your work and I can't wait to see where it goes after this. So thanks for being here with us. Congratulations. And thank you to the Undocumented Filmmakers Collective. Please, everybody who watched, follow these filmmakers, follow UFC, and stay in touch with the Film Independent. We've got more stuff coming all the time. Have a great night.